Hey guys, and welcome back to the YouTube. It's been a while and this is the last time that I'm going to restart this YouTube because I'm going to keep it consistent, okay? That is the plan. So today it is like the 12th, I feel like. 13th, it's Friday the 13th of December. And I am going to basically sit down and do a big old update, a big old chat about what's been going on, bodybuilding, life, business, basically over the last few months. And I've done sporadic bits and bobs of the off season this year and kind of what's been happening. Yeah, I'm excited to just give an update, go through what's been going on for the last few months and go through the plans for next year because prep is making a comeback, which I'm very excited for. The last update I actually did was the 3rd of September. I did a big off-season update after spending all of this year basically in a building phase. If you've watched my previous series, you'll know that I competed at the back end of 2023. So I did the British Pro Show and the World Pro Show last year, actually just over a year ago now, which is absolutely crazy. And then I've basically been in a big off season pretty much ever since then. Essentially, God, since September when I did the last update, which was like an off season update, it's basically been I did another month of off season and then I did a 6-week mini cut, which started on the 3rd of October. And the purpose of that, because I'd spent so long like building my food up and, you know, my calories were pretty high. I think they were like between 3,500 to 4,000. My appetite basically got really bad and got to the point where I was really struggling to get the food in. So we just did a 6-week pullback and basically reset, just to try and get things moving again for this last little run of the off season. So my starting weight of that before we did the pullback was like 153 pounds. The week before it was 156, and that is pretty much the heaviest I've ever been. Okay, I'll actually pop a little video in here from my check-in on that week just to show you what I look like. So this was after like 2/3, I'm gonna say like 3/4 of a year in an off season. Pretty much heaviest weight I've been. I'm gonna pop the video here just so you guys can see what was going on. But yeah, in a pretty good spot. And the purpose of the cut was basically to reset the appetite, get a little bit leaner after a good period of time in a building phase. And you know me, I always bang on about this on Instagram, on everything. Like, one of the best things you can do, especially as a female, is actually spend good, consistent time away from dieting. It is literally the biggest thing you can do for progress from a health perspective, from a building muscle perspective, and also just getting your body into a responsive position. And that's the goal, to actually, next time I prep, make sure that everything is in a really, really nice spot. So yeah, that was kind of where I was at the start of the mini cut. And we ran the 6-week mini cut. And again, I wish I documented this, but there was just so much going on in life that I didn't really end up sharing it much. But there was no changes from the start to finish. And I actually went down to... No barking. The sausages. Anyway, before the dog interruption, come on then, get up. The lowest weight was 143.2 pounds. So pretty much 10 pounds down throughout the mini cut and nearly 13 pounds from the heaviest. So yeah, and I'll put the video here from the end of the mini cut just so you can see the difference. So that was 6 weeks. It was quite short, quite sharp, but I will run you through what we basically did over the 6 weeks. So how I lost basically between 10 to 12 pounds over 6 weeks. Obviously my start point was very good. Like, I wasn't really doing any cardio. You know, I was on 10k steps. So this was a really, really big drop for me when we got going. But my cardio in the mini cut, I was doing 30 minutes of cardio 6 days a week. So the cardio was pretty high. I was on 12 to 13k steps on top of my cardio. I've actually noted down my food so I can explain kind of what food I was on. But my training day food was 1840 calories. I'll pop the macros in here so you can see the exact macros. And my rest day food was also 1840, and then I had 150 calories on top and a meal out a week, which was tracked at 700 calories. So that was basically the plan. It stayed exactly the same because my body was responding really well. And yeah, obviously it doesn't sound like a lot when you say I was on like 2,000 plus calories, pretty much 2,000. But obviously from where I was, it was a very big drop, and I was like relatively hungry after the first couple of weeks. So yeah, that did the job, which was great. Now I finished that mini cut nearly pretty much 4 weeks ago. My weight has pretty much held. This week when I checked in, it actually came down a little bit. So it's now like 142 pounds. So we finished the mini cut, built things back up, and the weight has actually dropped a little bit since, weirdly. But what I'm gonna do in the next video, this is a bit of a sit down chat, but the next video, I am gonna basically show you what I'm eating at the minute, what my food looks like at the minute, and just go through like a bit of a full day of eating post mini cut, because the food now is a lot higher than it was in the mini cut. So that's basically what's happened. Big off season since the end of last year, little 6-week pullback, and now we're back into the off season, if you say, but trying to maintain the fat loss progress. And the goal of this was just to start prep in a better position. So rather than starting prep with like 30-40 pounds to pull off, which is where I usually start, we wanted to basically start this prep in a better position where I didn't have quite as much weight to pull off. And obviously everyone's body is so different, but for me, we just found that, you know, like starting prep and doing it all in one go and doing a really big run, my body gets to the point where it doesn't respond that well, and I end up then, we having to push quite hard to get lean, and then I'd end up not looking as good, which is basically what happened last time when I competed. So yeah, the plan is to just do it in stages this time and be able to refeed a bit more and just keep the body a little bit fresher essentially. So that was basically the mini cut. Like I said, next time I will show you full day of eating, back in off season, through Christmas. Who else is excited for Christmas food? Because I am excited for cheese. Well, prep starts, which is going to be really fun. So yeah, my steps they've just been pulled down actually to 11 to 12k, and I'm now doing 1 20-minute cardio session. So the expenditure has been pulled right down again, and I've actually been really poorly for the last week and a half. So I've not done any training. This is my first week back training, and my steps are super low. My food was a bit lower, although I did still eat like my usual meals while I was ill. So that's basically what has happened in a very quick roundup. And the plan now, like I said, is basically maintain the fat loss progress whilst building up food. And then, this is the exciting bit, we're going to be starting a pre-prep phase in January with the goal of competing in the British and the World Pro shows in October and November next year, which I'm so excited for. All the like locations and the dates have just been announced. So yeah, basically, the plan was always to split the prep in two and do like a first half of the prep, a little reset and hold, and then the last half of the prep. So it is going to be like a slightly longer prep, but I think my body will respond a lot better to that. Yeah, and I am going to be doing a slightly unconventional approach, I guess, because I do have, in the middle of the year, I have a couple of weddings, I have some hen dos, and the plan is basically to get pretty lean prior to those so I can take like a little break through the middle and then basically do the back end of the year as the rest of the prep, just to pull the last bit off. So I'm quite excited to like trial a slightly different approach, and I think because this will be my 5th prep as well, like me and Dan have worked together for like 4 years now. Normally I wouldn't do something like this, but I think just with, you know, a lot of experience through prep and things like that, I think it will actually work pretty well. So I'm quite excited, and I will share like the prep and how we do the bit in the middle, and, you know, the weddings and everything like that, how we navigate all that going into the back end of the year. So yeah, basically prep starts in like 3 weeks, which is absolutely mad, but I'm super excited to see what happens through this prep. Currently about 25 pounds above what I competed at last year. So fingers crossed there's a little bit of muscle there when we diet down after all this year of training. So yeah, that is basically the plan. Like pro shows back in the next year, which will have been 2 years from when I last competed. And like I said, my 5th ever prep, which is absolutely crazy. Like never when I started out did I think that I would be 5 preps deep. I thought I'll just do this for a bit of fun. And now look where we are. That is the plan. From January, I'll be showing you the full year, what the prep looks like, how we break it down, how we manage the social side of things, which I am very, very excited for. And like I said, this is going to be my 5th prep and my 2nd prep for the pro shows. So yeah, I'm excited. And all the preps have been documented on YouTube, except the first one, which was a little bit of a shambles. But if you go back, you'll see the prep for the British and Tone Figure 2021, which was where I won the British. And then the year after, 2022, was the Universe, where I went to Athletic and won the overall and the pro card in Athletic. And then last year, 2023, was the prep for the British and the Worlds in the pro category, where I won the British. And then next year is going to be again the prep for the British in the world. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to kind of see what happens, and just especially after a big year off, it's going to be good. So just to go through kind of the life side of things. So it has been, I'm not going to lie, it has been a year. Like there's been a lot going on personally this year, and I don't really share loads of stuff, to be honest, about like my personal life. Like I don't share stuff about kind of what's going on behind the scenes, but it has been a lot, and especially trying to like do bodybuilding and run a growing business and, you know, do all of that. It has been quite, sorry, my camera is not going straight today. It's because the dog's sat on the flipping sofa. It has been quite a challenging year, but business wise, like things have progressed so much. I now have 2 coaches working within Undivided, as well as another amazing girl who helps me out with a few bits. So yeah, it's just all in a really nice spot. Like the team's growing. I feel like really aligned with the direction of like the business and where we're heading. We had our very kind of first big event that we held last month, which was amazing. It was a mindset focused event. We had like 40 plus girls there, guest speakers. It was just incredible. Yeah, and there's a lot more planned for 2025. I'm just really, really excited to kind of build on everything a little bit more. We've also got 10 girls competing next year, more in 2026, which is going to be incredible. And it's going to be a very busy year with the weddings, the hen dos, the 10 girls competing, obviously building the team and the business more, and also my competing as well. So I'm just really, really excited for next year, and I'm excited to share my competing journey, more about the business and just general life. I feel like I've learned a lot this year from a business perspective, and I have like invested in a lot of coaches and mentors and things like that over the year. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I feel like it's going to be good, and I feel like I am a different person in terms of I've put a lot of time into like self-development work this year with like my mindset and, you know, that side of things, and I feel like that has massively helped from a business perspective as well. So it's going to be a good one, and I cannot wait to share more. If there is anything that you would like to see, please let me know. If there's anything that you guys want to know more about from like a business perspective or a competing perspective, then just give me a shout. But I will be back next week with a full breakdown of my current food, and I am going to be sharing a little bit as well. I think I'm going to do some extra videos around like, you know, my early days of competing, how I got into training, just to give a little bit more background in terms of how I got to this point with it. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you've made it to this point, congratulations. And I will be back next week with a full day of eating in my off season.